Hey guys, I just wanted to give you an example of me doing the Scatterplot project. So here I have area in square feet and the price of a home. So right, this would be from a subdivision. So here's the size of the house, right? And here's the price of the home with that amount of square footage. So what I'm going to assume is that the area and square footage of the house is the independent variable and the price of the home is dependent, because I think a home depends on how the price of it depends on how big it is, which means that my area in square feet is going to be my X value and the price of the home is going to be my Y. And then to graph this, as long as area in square feet comes first, right? It's going to, if it's on the left and it's going to be my X, it'll automatically do that when I go to graph. So now that I've highlighted my data, I'm going to insert, and then I'm going to go to a chart. Whenever you insert a chart, it always picks the line chart first. I don't want a line chart. I just look down and I want a scatter chart, which is the one right next to the line chart. So here's a scatter chart, right? It just graphs my data points. It graphs the X versus the Y. And here it is, right? That looks sort of like a line. So now I want it to show my line of best fit. So I need to go to customize and I go down to series and then I look down and there should be show the trend line. And I select that. Then once I've selected that, I want to label it and I want to use the equation. That means it's going to show me my equation. I always like seeing the R squared value. I'll talk about that in class next. But here is my scatter plot. It's done for me. So I'm going to move this over. And I'm going to close this. And then I'm going to show you how I want us to answer the questions. So here's my line of best fit, right? Here's my equation. So my equation, if you look, is y equals, and it's right here, 67.6x plus 26,140. So what that means is essentially any house, even if it has no square footage, is going to cost 26,140, right? That's my y-intercept. And then it goes up at a rate of $67.6 per every square foot, right? So I'm going to first do interpolation. So interpolation is finding a question that is within my data set. So if you look right within it, I'm going to say what would a house that costs let's see, how big is a house that costs let's see, $175,000, right? That would be interpolation, and the reason that is interpolation is because it is in my data set. Right? If you look, 175,000 is right in here, and it looks like the answer is about 2,200. So on the graph, which is harder to read, it's 2,200. I will actually test it in the equation. And I'll show you how to do this. I'll show the work when I share this document with you. And then for extrapolation, I'm going to ask how expensive, how big a house would be if it was $150,000, because that looks like it's outside of my data, just barely, but it is outside. So if it's outside of my data range, it would be it's extrapolation.